Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Rev, back at you with another video. And I do apologize for the long hiatus I've taken on this channel. I've kind of just had a lot on my plate, and I've just had a lot of changes in my life over the past year or so. And I honestly just haven't had the time or really the drive to record any videos, but I'm starting to have a lot more free time now. I'm kind of settled down and in a place to where, I can spend a lot more time on fun stuff like this. So, I'm definitely going to be uploading a lot more here in the near future, and hopefully I'll keep that going and not just kind of stop. But anyways, enough of that stuff. Today we are going to be talking about the first time that I ever smoked wax. Or I guess technically I wasn't smoking wax, it was a oil pen. But it's the first time I ever did any form of concentrates. Or actually, it's the first time I ever did anything weed related besides just smoking the plant itself out of a soda can or whatever. But before we get too far into it, let's take a rip. Hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of stoner ASMR. But without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So this would have happened way back in the day when I was 14 during my freshman year of high school. And this started during our current issues class that I had with my buddy, who we're going to call Ashtray. And this is actually the same kid whose house I went to in the sneaking out and breaking my toe story time. I don't know if I gave him a name or not, but I'm going to call him Ashtray. If you know him, you know. If you don't, you don't. But anyways, I had my current issues class with Ashtray and then two of my other buddies, which I'm not going to name just because they're not really important to this story. But it was really funny because in our current issues class, it was pretty much all the straight edge, nerdy book type kids, you know? And then it was just a group of 4 druggies that could not care less about anything school related. And we would basically just sit in the corner of the classroom and talk about drugs the whole time. And half the time one of us would show up to the class on some form of drug, so we'd just kind of be talking to him, just like, oh, how do you feel, man? But anyways, this day we were talking about all the drugs that we had done at that point, all the drugs we wanted to try. You know, just stuff that no 14-year-olds should be talking about in school, but nevertheless, it's what we were doing. And the topic of dabs had come up, and this was back in the day when wax, concentrates, hash, any of that stuff was pretty goddamn rare to find, because this is taking place in an illegal state, we're not in California. And back then, for anyone to have wax, it was like, whoa, dude, yo, this person has wax, and the whole town would know, and the entire town would be hitting this person up for wax, because it was rare, you never found it. It was just mids and occasionally some good weed. But I had mentioned, I'd never tried wax or dabs or anything, and this kid was like, what? You've never tried it? Man, you got to come over after school, man. I can steal my dad's oil pen, and I'll let you hit it, man. And I was like, well, hell yeah, man. That sounds like a good day. That made music to my ears, man. That's like someone coming up to me now and being like, hey, man, the rest of the day you can just fuck off and not do anything, Fuck all those responsibilities you got. You can just do nothing. It was music to my ears. So we go throughout the rest of the class, talking or whatever, and I go throughout the rest of my day at school. Nothing really noteworthy happened. It was just a typical day of sitting around wanting to leave so I could go smoke weed. And then we get out of school, and I get home, and I text him, and I'm like, hey man, so, what's the plan? Like, do you want me to come over, or what's happening? And he tells me, yeah, man, I'm not really able to chill, because that was the thing with this kid, is he could never hang out, because he was constantly in trouble with his dad and his parents, because he'd always be stealing their weed and just being a jabroni, he'd just be fucking around, and he could never really chill, he would always like smoke me up, but it would always be like, yo, hop my fence, meet me in the garage, I'll smoke you out, and then you gotta leave. Like, we can't get caught. And that's how it was every time. And I really appreciated that, don't get me wrong. It was just like, man, can you just like not get in trouble so we can like hang out or something? But anyways, he's like, yeah, man, you can come meet me in my alley. I have my dad's oil pen. He's off at work right now, but I think he said his mom or his stepmom was home or something, so he's gonna meet me out in the alley so we could smoke real quick. So I go down and I tell my mom, hey mom, I'm gonna go walk to the gas station and get myself a drink and maybe a snack or something. She's like, okay, yeah, go do your thing. Because that's what I'd always say, is I'd go, I'd say, oh yeah, I'm going to walk down to the gas station, and then I'd just half the time hop in someone's car and go burn ride for 15 minutes, or just always do some stupid shit like that I shouldn't have been doing. But luckily, this kid's house, like I mentioned in the sneaking out video, it was only like 2 blocks away from my house. And actually, it was on the route to the gas station, so it was perfect. So I walk over there, and I see him from like a block away, and I could already tell he was baked out of his mind just from the way he was standing there and had the way he waved at me. But he kind of, gave me the old wave over, and I met him in the alley, and then we went behind this, little like cement shed type thing, and he took the first hit and kind of showed me how the pen worked. And keep in mind, this was one of the like OG pens. This was like the 2014, 2015 era, like put your own oil in the cartridge. Like this was before the days of pre-filled cartridges from dispensaries. Like this was way before any of that. This was when you could only buy like a jar of oil and fill your own carts with it. This was one of the OG pens, and I'll put a picture on screen if I can find one of it. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure a lot of you also don't, because these weren't around for that long before the cards came onto the scene. But nevertheless, he showed me how it worked, and I took one rip. And keep in mind, these pens only vape at like 2.5 watts, I want to say. So you can take a decent sized rip and not really be coughing or anything. So I took one hit. And I was kind of thinking, I had no experience with wax or how strong any concentrates are. So I kind of hit it like I would, a bowl of weed. I took one hit, blew it out, waited maybe 10 seconds, did it again. And I did it for a third time. And then I was sitting there kind of looking at it, debating on whether if I should take another or not. And fucking Ashtray, he could see in my eyes that I was debating. So he's like, come on, man, you gotta take another, man. Come on, take another. Come on, what's it gonna hurt? You don't got nothing to do today. Come on, man, take another. And then I was like, all right. So then I take a big one. This one was like twice as big as any of the other rips. It was literally like, I don't even think you could blinker these things, but if you could, it would be blinkered. Like, it was like a 10-second rip, and I was coughing my ass off. And by that point, when I exhaled, I felt really stoned. I would say like it felt how I would feel after I took a big bong rip. And I thank Ashtray, shake him up. He walks off, goes back and does his thing, and he's like, yeah, man, let me know how you feel. Hit me up and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, man, thanks again, man. So then I go and I go to walk to the gas station because I couldn't just walk home with nothing, because then my mom would have questioned me and been like, well, what did you get? Where did you go? And I also, had that cotton mouth going from that oil pen, so I kind of wanted something to drink and, maybe some munchies for later or some shit. So I started walking there, and for about the first 30 seconds, it was like how I described, it was like I took a big bong rip, and I just felt nice and stoned. I just felt good, And then, before you know it, I am in the full-blown, like, FPS mode. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about, and I know a lot of you are also going, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But it is literally like, it's like if you took your video game that's playing at 60 FPS and just cut it to 20, and everything's just juddering around, and it just feels laggy and it's slow. That's how I literally felt in my body. It felt like my vision was just snapping all over the place, but it felt like my eyes would like snap in one place, but then my vision would be delayed and it would like have to catch up with what my eyes were doing. And then on top of that, it just like it felt like my body was lagging. Like, you know how when you're playing a video game and everything just feels off when you're lagging? It literally felt like that with my limbs. Like, I was struggling to walk. I was literally having to sit there going like, left, right, okay, walk, left, right. Like, I could not fucking function, bro. And somehow I made it to the gas station. And honestly, I'm surprised they didn't call the cops on me, because I was so fucking obliterated on such an extreme level. Like, I know everybody in that store could tell I was fucked up. And like, it didn't look like I was stoned. It looked like I just took like 4 perk 30s or some shit. Like, I was stumbling all over the place, like slumped as fuck, and I felt like my entire body was lagging. And somehow I check out, get my shit, and then I leave, and I'm walking away, and you know, I'm just walking home, and I'm not really, I wouldn't call this like greening out, because I wasn't like really freaking out. It's not like I was having a panic attack or really having any anxiety. I felt great the whole time. I was just like, my bodily, just my physical functions were so fucked up. I was like, fuck, I need to get home so I can enjoy this. And I was walking home trying my best. And honestly, I got very lucky, because, I mean, I was so fucked up to the point that if a cop had like drove by, he absolutely would have just slammed on the brakes and pulled over and probably taken me in, because it's like, what? I was that visibly fucked up. I was stumbling all over the place, and I'm just this little fucking 14-year-old kid. And then I start feeling my phone buzzing in my pocket, and my heart sinks, because I think it's my mom. And I'm thinking, oh man, she's gonna be calling me. I've been gone for so long. She's gonna be freaking out. And I see it's Ashtray calling me. I'm like, what the hell? And then I start freaking out at that. I start thinking, oh my god, man. Oh fuck, man, he got caught, man. I bet his mom saw me, bro. Fuck, dude, she's gonna call the cops. And then I just pick it up, and he just goes, I can see you. And I was like, what? Well, where are you? And he's like, dude, look at the window. You're out front of my house. And I look up, and I was just standing there, completely still, staring at my phone right out front of his house, and I didn't even fucking notice it because I was so high. And he was like sitting there in the window, like trying to knock on and get my attention so he could wave at me. And I was like, oh shit, what's up, man? And then he was like, bro, you need to get home. Like, I could see you from 4 blocks away, and you look like you're like way more than just stoned right now. You need to get the fuck home before somebody calls the cops. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, bro. Hey, thanks for the dabs, man. And he's like, yeah, bro, you look like you're fucking enjoying it, man. Yeah, I was like, yeah, thank you, man. And then I walked home, and thank the Lords, my mom was like busy doing something on the phone or something. So I just walked right past her, and I just got in the shower for like an hour straight so I could sober up. But like, if I had to talk to her, oh god, that would have been horrible. That would have been not a good experience. But anyways, guys, that's about it for this video. I really I would not recommend doing that much wax if it's your first time, for anyone listening. Like, do one small hit and leave it at that, please, because it's not fun. Okay, it's not. I mean, I guess I will say it was worth it, but I really wish I would have taken like 1 or 2 hits, because I could have handled it a lot better. But at the same time, I don't regret getting that high, because it was my first time doing it. So it's like, you know, go big or go home, right? And I mean, I guess it also would have made a difference if I was like chilling in someone's basement as opposed to walking around the fucking streets of my town high as fuck. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more in the future. hopefully I'll be uploading more regularly on this channel. I do apologize again for the long hiatus I've taken, but I'm kind of more settled down now. I'll have more time to work on shit like this. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.